Welcome back to Train Wins Baldur's Gate 3. This video took a little bit longer than normal because we needed to fully explore the options to give complete coverage for the Daughter of Darkness quest. Before we really embark on it, we're going to look at some of the differences, because Noble stock is covered really early on, and you can either give it to Shadowheart, or Baelen, or Derryth. And on the way is another merchant we haven't yet seen.
I was hoping to bump into you sooner or later. I've heard about you. I know the so-called savior of the city has taken an interest in you. One thing I've learned, real saviors never label themselves as such.
You mean Gortash? He's dead now, thanks to me.
Oh, I knew I liked you. Baldur's Gate isn't out of danger yet, is it? Gortash was one bad actor. Delightful you stomped the light out of him, but from what I hear, there could be more. I might not have exactly what you need, but I remain at your service. Have a look at least.
We'll go and pick up Cloudkill. You can also carry other spells.
Godspeed, and come back whenever you need something.
Have to keep going.
Right, inside the apothecary, we have Baelen and Derryth, or you would under maybe normal circumstances. Inside this store is the apothecary from the Underdark, all the way back in Act 1.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. Haven't seen you since you cleared up me old noggin in the Underdark. How you been?
I can't complain.
Nor should you. 'Tis a beautiful day to be alive.
How are things in the city?
To quote you, I can't complain. I hear this and that about absolutists in the city and someone running around on a murder spree, but I haven't had any trouble. If I'm lucky, they'll go for Derryth next.
Speaking of whom, where is Derryth anyway?
Fled in the night, and haven't seen her ugly face since. For the best. She was cruising for a lesson after what she did.
I'm not sure I would have healed you if I'd known about all this.
Don't you be judging me. So you made it to the city with curtsies and cajoles. Is that right? I didn't think so. So don't you be judging me.
Let's see what you've got for sale.
Only the finest. And to thank you for your good help, I'll take a lot off the top. Just for you.
We'll come back to this timeline in a little bit, switch the train to a different set of tracks, and see how things could have turned out. On these train tracks, we've given Derryth the noble stock and not Baelen. Let's see how things turned out.
It's Bonecloaks. I'm Baelen. Hello. Nice to meet you. We sell all sorts of ingredients and goods.
Go on, Baelen. Get on with it then. It's you. I never forget a face. Welcome to Bonecloaks. Doors are still open thanks to that noble stock you helped us with. We've even enough left over to keep ourselves fed. Not that Baelen's worth the gold it takes to keep him fattened up. Anyway, we can knock a little off the top if you've a mind to buy.
Are you glad to be back in Baldur's Gate?
Oh, sure. Cultists on the loose, a murderer hacking people to bits, and big metal freaks stomping hither, thither, and yon. Couldn't be more delighted.
How are you and Baelen getting on?
He's wrecking my head, as always. Makes himself useful with a broom from time to time, at least.
You must lighten up on Baelen. He seems harmless enough.
You don't know him like I do. He may play the lamb, but beneath it all, he's a black-hearted ogre. I got the scars to prove it. Anyway, you ought to keep your nose in your own corner. You might upset folk.
Let me see what you have.
Take your pick.
Her stockpile, I mean, maybe it's just fleshed out with these noble stock here, but it looks more full than when it's just Baelen. But that being said, there are 2 of them. You can see here that there's no orange line around this noble stock. Shadowheart cannot eat this for part of the quest line. Here, we'll go and buy everything. Then we'll try talking to Shadowheart. In fact, we can even pass one over to her. And try to make her eat it. She should say, you should talk to me about it.
Can be dangerous, you know. At least let's talk about it first.
Even though she says that, since it's a specifically different item, it's not coded for this dialogue.
Boo seems like a worthy addition to our group. His pet, Minsk, may prove useful also.
You can see that there's no let me make you eat the noble stock option. Other than getting Minsk, we haven't done anything else in town, and that will be important for how you unlock this rare dialogue. Let's head back around Bonecloaks to the cemetery. There are 2 things you need to get to unlock this rare dialogue. You need to find Shadowheart's graffiti, and you need to find her old mentor.
With haste.
In the cemetery, which will also give coverage of
flowers, every color of the rainbow, right here.
Here we have grotesque distinction. There's nothing on the corpse, nothing of value to you. I don't think there's even like a single junk item. You touch this, it'll explode. So don't bother. I don't know if there's any point to it. This is a flower merchant, but she doesn't sell night orchids, unfortunately.
I'm gonna save you, Garret. Would Sarah like some flowers? They do a wonder at brightening up a grave. I bring fresh ones to my husband's every few days.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm not. My husband was an arse. But he gave me 3 beautiful kids. So the old goat gets flowers. I get them up by Bloombridge. A druid lives that way, so you know they're extra fresh.
What use do the dead have for flowers?
They're not for the dead. They're for the living. Same with funerals. Coffins, all of it. I put flowers on my husband's grave for me, to remember the good from the bad. We get on better now than when he was still alive.
Let's see it.
Of course. Come back any time. You won't find fresher.
Alright. We'll talk to her last.
Grief is hard.
You can dig up the graves, and there's not a whole lot you'll find. Though, for whatever reason, this one says it's a grave of an alchemist if you read this tombstone, but you find 2 corpses in it, and they are not of that same tombstone's name.
You're not allowed to play here. It's not respectful.
We must play here. This is where they like to hide.
But it's not allowed. Why are you being stupid?
Is this part of the game?
You're going to be in so much trouble.
Come out, sister. I will find you.
An air of decay hangs over the stooped beggar's form. The smell of rot, the smell of death.
Sister always hides from me. She likes to play.
If I were her, I'd be hiding too. You smell terrible up close.
No, I am clean. I take good care of myself, like Sister taught me. Sister might need a wash, though. She is hiding from me. In the ground over there.
Your sister is food for the worms, and her soul twists in agony as we speak. She's dead.
No, she is just good at keeping still. She is the best at this game. I never win, except when she lets me.
That's curious.
We'll look at that what's curious in a second here. Over here, we'll find a happy birthday letter to an Allister Marnley. My love, you would have been 47 today. We celebrated with cake and ale. We sang your song. We imagined you were there and what you'd say. Living without you doesn't hurt any less, but the pains become less harrowing. I adore you. Let's go ahead and interact with the tombstone itself.
Here rests Allister Marnley,
Can't help
taken
but
too
feel
soon.
a twinge of sorrow at this grave. But why? Who is this?
That name on the tombstone before, it meant nothing to me, yet I felt a pang of loss all the same.
What do you think it means?
I think I knew that man. I think he helped me somehow long ago. And I grieved when he died. Not all Sharrans don robes and dark armor. Some people live perfectly normal lives on the surface, blending in utterly, so that they can serve the Dark Lady in utter secrecy. And not every skill that the Dark Lady asks of her followers can be taught in the shadows. Some can only be mastered on the streets, in daylight, amidst crowds. Lying, tailing, observing without being seen, picking a purse without being felt. I think I must have been sent to learn all these things from the man in that grave. Allister Marnley. Sounds human, and the grave wasn't recent. He must have died some time ago. And I mourned him already. He'd surely not have been buried here if he was exposed. He must have taken the secret of his faith to the grave, undiscovered. A very Sharran ending.
Let's go ahead and hop on over to Shadowheart. You can also have your character do it or someone else. Everybody get off of the grave, though. One thing to note is if you have the Alt key toggled on or pressed, where you can see all the items, it won't let you drop items. What I mean by this is right now you can see the fist icon for dropping this, but if I press Alt and try to drop anything, she'll walk there instead. So if you're having trouble dropping anything, that might be why. Apparently she can't walk over there, target too far.
My favorite flower. Just a small remembrance. From one who can scarcely remember. Rest well.
She will have a different quip if
that noise?
you do it, such as, it's my favorite flower, thank
People
you.
no respect for the dead.
She says, what's that noise? Have no people no respect for the dead because of this pipe? Once you've interacted with the pipe, you can now safely dig up this dirt mound without trespassing, or whatever you want to call it, breaking the law. It's okay.
Don't fancy getting my hands dirty. I need a shovel.
Hold on 1 second while I go get a shovel from the bank. Okay, I've got my shovel. I cleared out my inventory for the purposes of, recording all of this. Even dressed my characters in old gear, so you can tell this is a different timeline on purpose. And I just happened to have thrown all my gear, including shovel, into my storage bin.
I thought I was done for. Lady Luck, bless you.
I like that he was completely wide-eyed during this. One of the facets of having the full party mod, or more than 4 people in the party, is that your characters don't all show up in the dialogue. While Baldur's Gate does try to give precedence or priority to characters that would be involved, you might miss some dialogue just because it's crowding it with other non-speaking entities. The reason I mentioned this is I did test this with just the minx in the party, and there is no extra dialogue.
Lady Luck didn't help you. I did.
Aye, and I'll return the favour. You see, an angry-looking baldy don't filch him. I did. Got me a stiff for a bunkmate. Stone Lord, he calls himself. More like stone shite.
You idiot. Learn the signs of a dangerous mark.
I got greedy, all right? I won't make that same mistake twice. Thieves' honor. Look, I ain't got much in the way of thanks, but the stiff below has some fancy doodads. You're welcome to them.
I'm not sure if this is anything special, but the only thing of note here is magical pike. It's not pike +1, it's magical pike. Whereas we have here a rapier +1. You can take this stuff, it's fine. Nobody seems to care. If you should dig up any of the graves, such as this one, which is actually a transporting location. I mean, not a magical transport, it just leads you to where the vampire's hideout is, where the one chick from the sewers is waiting for her date. That's where that leads. But even if you dig that up, this person won't talk to you. However, that grave we dug up is okay because it wasn't a real grave, I suppose. Or at least that guy was put in place of the grave.
I'm sorry for your loss, but it will be a 10-day before I can take your departed. Maybe more. If you notice any odours before then, treat the body with jasmine, honeysuckle, whatever you can get.
It sounds like you're pretty busy.
Well, there is a serial killer on the loose. Business is booming, unfortunately.
Who's this serial killer targeting?
Can't say. There are 100 theories, but I see no pattern in who comes through me door. Mind you, theories taking more lives than any one killer. The whole city is on edge, ready to draw steel.
I'm looking for a grave. Name of Kurwin.
Kurwin? Oh, yeah. He's just outside, under the great willow with the drooping branches. It's good of you to come. He hasn't had any visitors in a long time.
Just want to pay my respects.
It's important to remember those who have gone before us. I wish there were more like you. I'm sorry for your loss, but oh, you're back.
There's some strange things happening in this graveyard.
I deal with the dead, but the Mortarch tends to them and the living who mourn them. If you have any concerns about strange goings-on, kindly speak to her. She patrols the graveyard. Good day.
The Mortarch she's speaking about is right here, who patrols the grave sites. And we'll get into a confrontation with you if she catches you digging up graves.
To think a man lay buried beneath death's soil. It is an abomination of his will. You did well to free him. Death's blessings upon you. I am Mortarch Scyre, devotee of Kelenvor. I pray you find comfort among the dead, as I do. To rid ourselves of the coils of flesh is a beautiful thing.
After each thing you resolve in a graveyard, you can come talk to her for a little bit more dialogue, but she doesn't reward you or anything. You just do it for a job well done.
I am not leaving until Lily has a goddamned coffin. I'm sorry, but our baby girl... Our baby...
I know, love. I know. If you're here for a burial, good luck. The carpenter around back claims there's a backlog. We asked for a child-sized coffin, but I said it'll take a month.
You lost your child? I'm sorry.
7 years of age. And murdered. What kind of monster hurts a little girl?
Shush, love. We're going to get Lily a coffin, all right? Give her the burial she deserves.
One thing is, when they talk about there's a backlog of coffins for a month, but the graveyard isn't even that big. You'd think they'd be more worried about space than coffins, but okay. And while regrettable as it is that you have lost a child, there's other children in here that are dead too. In one of the coffins, you'll find a stuffed animal. Thank you for the grace and kindness you've shown me. You've gone above and beyond to give Iana the best send-off she could. I've enclosed gold for the casket to bring her luck and her favorite teddy bear. She loved that thing, more than me, I used to joke. I pray it brings her as much comfort as Kelemvor's embrace did. And in another, you'll find a child's drawing. So there are multiple children who have been killed. I don't know if it's the serial killer's doing or not, but we can at least help with getting them a coffin. The serial killer in question is that red dwarf, not to be confused with the British, I think it was British, comedy series. I read some of the books, and I've seen episodes completely out of order, but that's probably what helped me set up my sense of humor.
Fully booked. And no, I don't care if your loved one was drowned, strangled, or butchered. I'm not making you a coffin.
Not even for a child. That couple is really upset.
Why? Because they have a dead kid. Welcome to half the city. Now, you want to bump someone else to the back of the queue? Fine, but it'll cost you.
Here, this should cover it.
Done. It'll be ready in a couple of hours. Now, clear off.
Anyways, the people here will have different dialogue once you've killed the red dwarf. We're gonna go out and also dig up this grave just to read the note inside. While you might read the note and think it was the vampire's doings, since we've already done Asterian's quest, there's a couple things we already know about the vampires. One, Asterian himself and other vampires spawned like him were only allowed to kill rats. They weren't allowed to kill people. Any people that were abducted were supposed to be given to Cazador for his ritual. He needed 7,000 people after all. Two, even the other spawns have said like, hey, I'm saving this girl for after the ceremony because, you know, that's his taste of freedom. So not even just Asterian's word, as dubious as it might be, his word that he's only eaten rats, well, the other vampire spawn are corroborating that, saying that, hey, they can't wait to taste sentient being. I don't want to say human because there's gnomes and half-elves and all the other stuff there. There's a diary in there that suggests that she was being lured in by a vampire. But essence, the game specifically has a trigger for different dialogue for killing the serial killer. While it might just be news to them, like literally news, like, hey, the serial killer's dead, and maybe it's a false lead for them, I do think that's probably it.
My mum's down there. I put a candle in the box with her. She never liked the dark.
Ridiculous. I just want to bury my little...
I got you some flowers, Mum. I know you like the blue ones, so I asked if they had any blue ones. They didn't. But I'll ask again tomorrow. They got the bad man, Mum, so we're safe now. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be okay.
Step to the side and read the note in peace and quiet. The whole reason we dug her up was to get this note. I'm no fool. I know this makes me the worst mother in the city, maybe the world. Maybe I'll even have to give up the title altogether. But my gods, I've got to live. I can't continue these little deaths day after day. It wasn't meant to be a mother, my precious. Of course I love him. More than anything do I love him. But better a mother gone than a mother dead, right? I've been going out at night, taking risks. It's the only time I don't feel like I've been necromanced into life. The handsome one, the one with the pretty lips, said he'd take me on a long trip. Let me clear my head. I've gotten all my coin together and we'll meet him tonight. My last chance at a life worth living, God's help me. So yes, I can understand why people would say it's the vampire. It ultimately doesn't matter, we killed everybody.
My Agnes shall be dancing in the market. Flowers in her hair. Not here. Not like this. I hope the Grand Duke strings up whoever did this to her. They got him, honey. They got the bastard that did this to you.
let's go ahead and complete our quest. It's not a real quest, it's just a little side thing that with no other reward other than feeling good about what you're doing. However, that being said, I'm ambivalent about this. Is that the right word? Maybe not. Neutral is really the way I'd say about it. Because there are, as we've seen from the other caskets in here, there are actually a lot of children who are dying in Baldur's Gate. I don't think there's any conspiracy here. I just think that Baldur's Gate is a risky place to live. You know, home of adventurers and all.
I won't bury Lily without a coffin. I refuse.
No one's suggesting that. We've just got to figure this out.
The carpenter is making you one now. Don't ask questions.
Yes? But why is he... Why would you...
He said no questions, honey.
So instead I'll say this. Lily was our world. Knowing that she'll be able to put to rest properly makes things... easier. Thank you.
With that resolved, let's go ahead and step back in here again. Take a look inside. She will stop speaking to you if you dig up any of the red graves. I don't think she minds too much if you go up here and steal from her, but she's psychically aware if you dig something without being seen. If you're in perfect invisibility and no one's around, with a darkness spell over you, people still catch you. That's fine. We're going to take a look at this journal, because I just want to point out about the paying the coffin maker of the 500 gold thing to move someone up a queue. Because all we really did was move someone else back a queue, someone else who is equally grieving. Today was difficult, but then again, what day hasn't been lately? It was a child this time. She was young and beautiful, her face peaceful despite the brutality of her death. Her parents had only coppers, but I waived my fee. I know I shouldn't, my savings are perilously low these days, but considering how she must have suffered, it was the least I could do for her family. I asked her parents if she had any favorite scents. They told me she loved the sea, a water baby, they called her. Prepared the body with weave moss, styling her hair with Chutler's oil. They cried when they saw her, hugging me, thanking me. I've never felt a deep connection to the gods. That is the Mortarch's purview, not mine. But moments like today give me purpose. As a Gravekeeper, I provide comfort in grief, beauty in death, peace in sorrow. I only wish I did not have to do it so often. We can also find mausoleum keys throughout the place. The Garion one is the only one we really need because it links to the others. Gonna get our head pat.
You did the girl child and her parents an honor. The dead deserve love and diligence. I shall personally oversee her rites.
Shadowheart is not the only person with people in this cemetery. We're gonna go ahead and make a save so we can explore all of the options.
Hey, my folks are buried here. I'd love to pay them a visit.
Here lie Pluck and Caerlack Cliffgate. My parents. Hi, Mum. Hi, Dad. Sorry I haven't visited. I've been, away. But I'm back now, and I brought friends. I miss you so much. But I'm happy and getting up to some really important shit. Maybe you can see for yourselves. I don't know. You're with me here. Anyway. Taters.
Taters?
Meant I love you in the Cliffgate household. I can't even remember how it started anymore. Lost family law. There was a lot of silly nonsense in our house. My mates used to say we had our own personal language. I guess I'm the last remaining speaker.
I'm glad we came here.
Me too. Didn't realize how nice it'd feel to come say hello.
May I ask how your parents died?
I was a teenager when Mum passed. Bad fever. A good healer could have saved her, but she slipped away before we found one who'd take our gold. Dad went a few years later. He was on an errand for work, travelling the Risen Road. His cart overturned and caught him just so. I was on my own after that. Fell in with Gortash not long after. If my folks had been alive, they would have sniffed him out straight away. But they weren't. Mum used to say there was no such thing as death, that there was only change. Dad thought that was a load of woo, that gone meant gone unless you'd struck a deal with one of the gods. Said he had better things to do in life than beg favors off immortals. I'm not sure what I believe.
There is no need to wonder. Our souls travel to the City of Judgment and are then taken by the gods.
If they deign to choose us, there's no guarantee, is there? And I've made little effort to attract the loyalty of anyone but you. Hopefully there's more waiting for me than that. Very hopefully.
Here lies Caerlack Cliffgate, beloved wife and mother.
We are also going to drop off some flowers. The mother who needed a healer, we're going to give her an item that could have been alchemically extracted to make a potion of greater healing. And for the father who was crushed by an object, we're going to give him something that could make a potion of Featherfall. And those are our flowers. This does absolutely nothing in the game. It's just, I figured it's fitting since we gave Shadowheart's tombstone over here a flower. As for this, once you've interacted with it, this lady in here will no longer talk to it, but it's not a big loss. Just make sure the Mortarch doesn't catch you. She will stop you from interacting with it. We gotta wait till she's far enough away, then we can start digging.
Here! What are you doing? Get them sausage fingers off my crate!
This is the crate that was listed when you found Scratch. He was next to a dead courier, and in those letters it mentions treasure is hidden in the grave of an Kurwin. That's this grave.
Sorry, I'll let you rest in peace.
Whoa, whoa, not so hasty. You can piss off after you've paid my fee. It's one of them letting you walk away with all your blood kind of fees.
Hells no. You think I'm scared of a kobold?
Nah, but I've seen plenty of brave corpses in my time. I ain't doing this by myself. Get your tails up here.
This battle spawns 6 kobold holes throughout the area. It's very similar to the Iron Throne where the bubbles spawn the Sahwagan. There are 5 kobolds that emerge from each kobold hole. There is no prize. When you were fighting in the Dark Justiciar place for the Gauntlet of Shar, your prize in front of Balthazar with all those dimension portals that summon the Justiciar skeletons was a Mega Justiciar skeleton, which only dropped a regular greatsword and nothing else. There's nothing here. If we manage to get all 6 to spawn 5 kobolds, nothing happens. Your biggest problem with trying to get the kobolds to spawn is if the Mortarch starts wailing on one of them. She'll join you in battle. This person over here will run away from your part of the battle, but if the Mortarch or her summon approaches Droona Shveitz, then she'll join in battle, because I guess all the Baldur's Gate citizens are allied with each other. Remember that our characters are dressed in their normal equipment, even if it's not the best thing for them. For example, our Will is still skilled as a archer with no bow because his starting gear did not have one. Yes, I could just slip on a bow for him, but I kind of think there's something interesting about leaving them in their normal starting gear. Tran started off as a rogue and does not have heavy armor proficiency. I could have made him a war cleric, and probably I should have done that. So he actually has a disadvantage when wearing heavy armor, but that's just for looks, for fashion. You could totally talk your way out of this. In fact, you'd get an inspiration for Charlatan by doing so, which is the inspiration itself says get the gold from the casket. Well, getting the gold from the casket at this point does not give you an inspiration. However, he does have a sword that I want just for my collectible purposes. As for each of these cobalt holes, if you're standing on them, they cannot summon a kobold. The whole point for us doing this battle is to kill Bugthimble. What's inside this, I don't care about. I was trying to see if anybody would see me while I'm looting this, and it looks like yes. So we'll loot that later. But if you wanted to keep them from spawning in, you just need to stand on it, hold shift, and then you can block ward, as it says. Shift is also how you go to sneak mode or see the visions goes. Go ahead and just stand on it and we'll keep wheeling. Jaheira is still wielding her dual scimitars, but she's a monk. She would do better without it. Again, these characters are not equipped necessarily for efficient purposes. We already have a playthrough with that in mind anyways. I like his attack with the staff there. It kind of was just a back jab. As long as you're standing on this, you're completely fine. I was gonna cancel her and then make her do the unarmed strike, but she did use her bonus action to jump. This one and that one. I didn't need that view there. I don't think I can guess or kill them. Our Caerlack is still throwing Caerlack, just with no items to throw.
Death take you, vile creature!
I think this is fine. It gives Mortarch, Gracie a chance to do something. The citizen and the summoned won't attack the cobalt holes, but Mortarch will. Where'd you go? There she is. We need to wait until the coast is clear anyways.
Kobolds are a festering plague on these hallowed grounds. To disturb the dead is to invite divinity's wrath. Thank you for dealing with them.
We'll have this little girl turn around.
He won't listen to me. I told him it's naughty to play in graveyards.
Like, totally. We can search Bugthimble. He's the real Luke. He's got Kurwin's scimitar, which is 1d4 fire damage, and can make the enemy start burning. I'm having a bit of burning gear. I have not yet created a burning build, though. It's definitely something we're thinking about. And then Kobold's chest key, I don't know where that goes. Maybe somewhere in the sewers. Looks like the coast is clear. Oh, no, not anymore. Yeah, let's go and do this. This is all that's inside. And it may be randomized, but either way, not that big of a deal. For the first dialogue here, we'll go ahead and show you the nice way to do it and the train to orc way to do it. And so let me go and make a save. We're doing the nice way because I do like the scene.
Psst, keep a lookout. The Mortarch don't take kindly to raising the dead, but I won't be long, I promise.
Who are you raising from the dead?
My big brother, Garret.
He got killed by that murderer guy. But I'm gonna fix him. Now, keep watch. Exorde me, Merkel. Resuscita frater meum. Immorte ad me redigo eo.
The air crackles with power before fizzing out. The child has power but lacks control.
Oh, you're close, Merkel. I can feel your shadow. Give my brother back, please.
Your brother's soul is at rest. It is not fair to disturb it. Make peace with your dead child.
We'll play a song for us while we speak to her. Look, I might as well Eagle's Splendor and Guidance this. I wrote a 2. But, no, we still failed. Wow, that was an impressive fail. That truly was.
The Mortarch said the same thing. But I miss him. A lot. Fine, I won't try again. For now, at least.
Then we'll run off and tattle to the Mortarch.
What's the point in having magic if I can't save you?
Shh. Necromancy is just delayed healing. I mean, the game makes this big hullabaloo about necromancy, but would you say Withers is evil? Possibly, but he's nice to you anyways. And if you were playing tabletop, I would assume that when you are reviving your teammates, never played it myself, but I would assume when you're reviving your teammates, you look for a church rather than a necromancer, like an evil cult, right, to revive your teammate. You look for a nice golden church of some sort. And yet, the power of a second life at our fingertips, and no.
Breathe it in. The damp, the decay. The smell is sweeter than roses, for death is a gift worth cherishing. How might I be of assistance?
The young girl at the grave is trying to return that gift.
Caerlack will forgive her. There is no sin greater than refusing his deathly will. I shall speak to her immediately.
Man can't even look at me.
The entire time we're in this cemetery, we keep hearing that strange beggar, the zombie guy, grumble and growl as a zombie.
Right here.
Nina, the soil reeks of Merkel's venom. Now is the time for truth.
I was gonna raise my big brother from the dead.
Why?
Oh, because I miss him.
What do you miss about him?
I miss his laugh. How he made everything less scary.
Do you feel that warmth in your heart at his memory? Death does not mean you're apart. He is here every time you speak of him. But necromancy does not give life. It twists death. Whatever abomination you summon will not be your brother. I swear it.
Simply listen.
But Merkel's Book of the Dead says it's the only way.
Merkel's? Sweet child. How about this? We will meet every sunset to discuss and honor your brother. You will see there is peace, not fear, in death.
That would be nice.
I look forward to it. And you, thank you for alerting me to Nina's plight. I fear what would have happened had you not intervened.
Brighten up a loved one's grave. The Mortarch is teaching me lots about death. And how it isn't that scary. She's a lot nicer than I thought.
Well, I would imagine that the people who are working in the funeral business are very nice people. Not at all super creepy as they might assume, as people might assume. Because I assume that they go into the business to try to learn how to care, give people ease and comfort in their most difficult times. At least that's what I assume.
You walk with death's mantle on your shoulders. Your hand as steady as the Lord of the Dead's. And for that you have my gratitude. Thank you for doing his work.
Now, I've shown you the nice messaging that the game has about the good outcome of this. Now let me show you what we're doing with our half-orc warlock.
Give my brother back, please.
Raising a fallen creature. Paltry magic. Allow me to explain.
I'm going to pick this one because it says strength, and I assume that's a bug, but this is going to be an option that most people don't get to see. Her reaction does change a little bit depending on what you pick. Even though it's a bug, we'll go and conquer it for you.
She nods along, enraptured by your explanation.
Oh, that makes way more sense. Let me try again. Exode me miracle. Resuscita fratrea meam. Emote ad me redigo eo.
Man, I'm glad my dude has the helmet because the game was about to put him into another I'm terrified of this dialogue animation. Come on. Let's start off by casting Radiance of the Dawn, because we never used a spell like this before. Action Surge, Step of the Wind Dash. She may not have her Radiance armor on, but she can still do quite the number on the enemy. So we'll jump here. It's close enough to hit them with Guardians without getting close enough for an opportunity attack. I don't know if we can easily do that right there, so we'll start with House next. Since he has Bloodlust enabled, he gets an extra action. Flip over to Shadowheart. We're going to jump across. Nope. Thanks, game. Because it just barely hovered over the dirt mound or the zombie's name or something. Yeah, it must be the zombie's name. She went to go loot it instead. That's fine. We'll just back away from him and then get the opportunity attack. Hop over. And hop out of there. Gale. I don't think Fireball is really what we should be doing here, so we'll just cast a regular cantrip. And miss. He also has Bloodlust. If he had contacted. Forgot to actually select the Ensnaring Strike. We're just gonna keep missing all day long. 80% with advantage and still missing all the time. Okay, we can Goading Strike. Goaded? It doesn't look like he's goaded, but he may be immune to it. No, there we go. Place Minthara to start flanking an enemy and sweeping through. But before we can continue with that, let's switch over to Lae'zel, who's on this side to start flanking an enemy and sweeping through. These are some very ninja-like zombies. But, you know, it's a 65% chance. That's a lot more understandable. How about you connect once? There we go.
Ready for battle.
I don't think you did. Look how many zombies you raised. That's really good for first time. You wanna know how many zombies I can raise? 1 per person. And I don't get to raise anything like this skeleton right here, who just has a regular greatsword. Let's go chat with Mortarch, and then we'll start diving into the mausoleums.
Tell me, Scyre, if you leave a poisoned cake in a park and a child dies from eating said cake, are you responsible for the child's death?
In part, but the child's parents share the blame.
Such wisdom. Which means you do not even have the excuse of ignorance. You showed a grieving child the ways of necromancy. Leave these hallowed grounds now. May Kelemvor have mercy on your soul.
While we're at it, we might as well check in with the caretaker. See if she likes us.
Nice, fresh ones.
You steal from those resting in my garden and still expect an audience? Get out.
We're gonna go and crack open 2 mausoleums. One is the Garion's Mausoleum. I would assume that this is named with Baldur's Gate 1 in mind. That zombie is still very loud in his grumblings. There's a lot of notes here, and I'll go and leave it open a little bit if you want to read any of them.
Something over there.
Don't waste a step.
Here lies Lord Gregorian Garion, first High Constable of Baldur's Gate, the city's protector.
This leads to another mausoleum. I think it's Durenbold's or Hound Pole or whatever. But it's not one that we particularly care about. Whoops, I'm sure I just ran over some traps.
Be cautious.
Maybe I didn't. Okay. Let's go and disable these traps. We don't have trap toolkits on us. Can I just smash these? Yeah, we'll just smash these.
Be wary.
Looks like it's greater toughness. So, yeah, alright. Give me a second. Let me return to camp and grab some toolkits out of my chest. I had cleared my inventory before starting this recording. Grab some kits from base. Let's go ahead and disarm these. If it was tripped once and get some damage, that'd be one thing. But if you trip it, it'll just constantly send arrows at you. Each wire, this wire will make this one spit arrows at you constantly. This wire will make make this one spit arrows at you, and this wire will make that one spit arrows. While the line itself, the arrow will shoot what is obviously the wall here. It actually goes through because it's not really a wall, it's a door. I guess doors they do not have the same collision detection. To open that door, we'll need to put 300 pounds of weight on this pedestal.
Very well.
I don't think any of our characters are carrying enough for that, so let me be back again. Yet again, we have returned. Let's go and drop a crate here. And then we'll have Minx just loaded up with some water barrels we stocked him with. I was gonna say, you could just open it from where Asterion is, but okay, game. And then we'll have Caerlack run over and do some more. And that should be enough to weigh it down. Come on. You can find a key inside that, but it's a DC 15 to push it. And if you pass the perception check here, you'll find another key. Let's see if we find... Here's one key. Let's see if Minx can push this open. And here's another key. Legacy of Hhune. This is your hint. It says here, kneel with the weight of all you value at his feet, and he will reveal himself. And a regular shield, +1. In the body is a candle. I don't know why they bother with that. Just put a regular, I don't know. I guess there might not be a non-container skeleton out there. But yes, the arrow will actually clip through this jagged wall section here and break these pots because of the explosion. Not a big deal. The biggest reason we came in here is for the journal on the table, but we'll go and take a look at both books. And these are the respective loots for those containers. Let's take a look at book number 1. I'll let you pause if you want to read this one. This is not a big deal right here. It is this one right here. This old diary contains thousands of short entries describing the writer's doings in short, factual sentences. One entry catches your eye. It was introduced to me as the Emperor. Surprising. But its information was good. Its ideas brilliant. I'll not turn up my nose. A boon to the knights, I think. Yeah, let's get out of here. This is the mausoleum we entered. The halfling-sized hole leads us, I think, into this mausoleum over here. The Grand Mausoleum will have more information about the dead. These vents will go off once you have started exploring this place. I believe pushing that with the same DC 15 will go ahead and make it go off. So go ahead and dismantle the 3 vents to give yourself some ease.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
Try and pull the muscle on that. Let Minx take care of it. There you go. Inside we'll find 2 keys. 1 key for each of the chests over here, which is just loot. And inside you'll find items similar to this and this. But the real treasure is knowledge. In there. We find the crumbling journal over here. I was still a supplicant when I came face to face with him, masked in gold, his skin fine and worn as parchment. Jurgle, the Death Keeper, the end of everything. I asked what he needed of me. He asked a simple question. What is the worth of a single mortal's life? I knew not how to respond and said as such. He seemed nonplussed, neither disappointed nor pleased. I fell to my knees in respect for his awesome power. This garnered no reaction. There I stayed, trembling with an emotion I could not name, and when I stood again, the final scribe was gone. I don't know if that's supposed to hint that Withers is Jurgle, but sure. Maybe he should join my party and help me do all of this stuff. This is a little bit of lore on the Dead 3. Case for prosecution. Master Silver did, with forethought and without malice, kill William Lister and Simon Simi Trent at their home as part of an ungodly ritual to honor the Dead 3, or one of the Dead 3, the gods Bane, Baal, or Merkel. Case for the defense. I don't know nothing about any gods. All I know is Bill and Simi were trying to cut me out of our deal and they got what they had was coming. But those symbols and stuff, how the guts was arranged, I don't know nothing. Sentence. Death. Commuted to banishment so as not to anger higher powers. The Unclaimed. This is the thing about the City of Judgment. In life, her service had been impeccable. Daily did she devote herself to the Lady of Loss. Daily did she free herself from the tyranny of memory. All in time was lost to her, her relations, her preferences, even her own name. Upon the altar of her devotion placed she the ultimate offering, her emptied mind. And when she died, when she awoke in death and found herself standing in the pale and faded City of Judgment, she waited for the Lady of Loss to retrieve her. 1,000,000 souls and more passed her in colorless gusts, but no hand materialized in her hand. No voice whispered instruction in her ear. No guidance proffered itself from the bleached and barren sky. Time, immaterial time, passed round her like air, coming and going, and still the goddess did not come for her devotee. Kelemvor pitied her, as much as the Lord of the Dead is able, but could not intervene. This cleric of the Lady of Loss, unclaimed despite her worthiness, might yet have one more lesson to learn. That not of forgetting, but being forgotten. Ouch. Yeah, in a world like this, the supernatural is apparent. It's obvious, is evident. The gods are plainly real. They bestow magic upon you, and sometimes they deign to show up in form, as an avatar in some sort of in the material plane. We have completed the cemetery. That was a very long side trip. The whole aspect of it was to cover the cemetery involving that Allister Marnley's grave. Now we're going to head on over to the Baldur's Gate waypoint, which I've gone ahead and unlocked before recording, and go to the second part of Shadowheart's memories.
Stay away from the gate.
That graffiti. It almost looks like it was done in my hand. Did I do this? That graffiti from before. I never thought I'd see it again.
Why did it stand out?
Well, I think I was the one who did it. I can recognize my own handwriting. How long ago was this? Years? All the time I spent training, hidden away from the world. I think I must have wanted to leave my mark somewhere. Just to prove I existed. Even to myself.
And then, once you've done both instances, whether this one first and the cemetery second, or vice versa, like we did, you get the second dialogue. You probably won't see this dialogue because you will have done things throughout the lower city, causing her not to want to do this dialogue option. I don't know. It's missable, though.
Baldur's Gate. It's amazing how a place I don't truly remember feels so familiar. Just wandering the streets is causing little things to come back to me. Just the barest crumbs of memories, but still. I suppose when you're famished, a crumb is a feast.
What stands out the most?
Honestly, and don't laugh, it's the smells. I never thought I'd be so glad to be greeted by the waft of docks and alleyways. It doesn't dredge up any specifics, just a feeling I can't quite define. But it's a comforting feeling, all the same.
In order to reach the Lady of Loss, we need to just wrap around this building that has been graffitied by Shar. Walking towards here will trigger something with Minx, and I don't know anything about it yet because I'm trying to handle one quest at a time. You can see how much stuff we hit. She gets to Sharran. How much stuff we hit just by going to the cemetery. I covered all of it since I doubt we'll have any other reason to go back to the cemetery. The reason why I wanted to do Shadowheart next was she keeps getting the mysterious Sharran wound, which will cut off chatter from the team. You can tell which Shadowheart's which, whether they have white hair or black hair. This one is the Night Song Shadowheart. But I will show you everything.
Farewell, friend.
Your life starts anew from this moment.
She's talking to this guy, Arvis, who will talk to as soon as we're done with talking to Lug.
Pardon my singing. That lullaby's been stuck in my head since... Funny. I can't recall.
I have no idea what naming conventions for elves are. It says here High Elf. Lug would not be up there. I would imagine something pretentious and a bunch of apostrophes. Generally probably missing vowels and maybe replacing more vowels with apostrophes too while they're at it.
Wonderful little beast. Nimble as anything.
Examine the man's attire, expression, anything of note.
A man of means, judging by his attire. He looks like a merchant or a junior council member. But right now he's without care, entranced by a tree.
What are you looking at?
There was a squirrel in the tree. Marvelous creature. Inquisitive and nut-crazed.
You either have sharper eyes in mind, or there is no squirrel here.
Give it time. I had to wait for... I don't even know how long to catch a glimpse. You wouldn't happen to know where I live, would you?
You seem confused. Taken a bump to the head lately, perhaps?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm as fit as a fiddle. It's just that certain things are... eluding me.
This is more than a lapse, you sense. Something's been done to the man's memories.
See what you can learn from his thoughts.
Barely passed it.
The man's mind is a stream of fragmented thoughts, each brushed away by another before it can take purchase.
Marvelous day. Not a care in the world. Moira would have loved this garden. Wait, who's she?
Do you know someone called Moira?
Moira? Yes. No. I don't know. I think I remember a face, smiling, young, then older, then ill, then... No, I don't think so. You must be mistaken, friend. I don't know anyone by that name.
What do you remember?
Well, I remember I was sad. But in truth, I'm not quite sure what caused it. I'm not even sure I know what sad is anymore. And I came from that building over there. They were very nice to me, seemed very helpful. Although, for the life of me, I can't recall what I was doing there in the first place.
Is there anyone you can go to? Anyone who could help?
There must be, you would think. You know, I can swear there is someone, but their name escapes me. Hells, even their face escapes me. A figment of my imagination, perhaps. Oh, it will come back to me. Or not. I'm content enough here, in either case.
On his person, he has a black diamond, which might be a solution to a puzzle later on, which does have a black diamond near it anyways. I don't think you would need a second one. You can get it out of him by talking to him and deceiving him for it. But we'll leave him to his loss, I suppose. I don't personally agree with that choice, but I could understand it if you've been through something so devastating that you need to forget it. Still, it's like Moira never existed anymore. That's not what I was trying to click on.
Greetings. Do you seek help? You are in the right place.
So part of what took me so long to get this episode ready is, well, recording segment. It's probably going to be 2 episodes since I spent so long in the cemetery. Is I had to do multiple playthroughs to get to this point with the Dark Justiciar version of Shadowheart, which we'll cover. I'm gonna assume that this is one episode here. So we'll end it off as we enter the temple proper.
Welcome to the House of Grief. Or perhaps welcome is the wrong word, Shadowheart. There's been some debate whether you'd even show up and face the consequences of your actions. I assumed you tried to flee, like a craven.
Do I know you? I like to be on a first-name basis before I give someone a thrashing, ideally.
You haven't changed one bit, have you? I hope you remember it all in the end. I want you to know how much of a failure you truly are. It will come. All in due time.
I met the man who'd been robbed of his memories. Your handiwork.
This is a place of healing. Anyone who partook in our methods did so willingly, and left with a smile on their face, freed from their troubles. Would you accuse a surgeon of robbing a tumor? I think not.
Let us pass.
As I said, in due time. First, you submit to the mapping of the heart. Only then can we know what is to be done with you.
Mapping of the what?
This is the house of grief. We strive to help those whose hearts have grown heavy. Be it with anger, melancholy, grief, or treachery. Submit to the mapping and reveal what lurks in your heart. If you consent, follow me. If you do not, leave.
Just close the door on everybody.
Have a seat. The mapping will begin shortly.
You seek to be unburdened, yes? The mapping of the heart can reveal the way. Yet, there is another here whose need is great.
That voice. Allow me. I think I'm supposed to do this.
Go ahead.
Do you know why you are here?
There is something I lost. No. Had taken from me. My family. My life. I want it all back.
Loss is a gift, girl. Do you still not understand that? Now give me the true answer. What is your purpose in being here?
What's going on? Is this part of the mapping?
Why map what is already known? A disloyal heart, a craven heart, a shadow heart. Now answer. What is your true purpose?
The artifact. I was sent to retrieve it, at any cost.
And who tasked you with this mission?
The Mother Superior of It's you.
Give me the honor of my name, in full.
I can't. My memories...
I know what's in that head of yours better than you do, girl. My name.
Mother Superior... Viconia de Veer.
You still have the wits to recognize your betters. Good.
Viconia de Veer. If only Shar would bless me with the forgetting of your face.
You would have recognized your foul scent, if not for all this evil Sharran incense.
Always a pleasure to see old acquaintances, but you would be wise to not interfere in what is to come. Now descend. You have much to answer for.
An astral projection. It is just like a De Veer to avoid facing danger in the flesh. They always were a family of cowards.
I like how Will critically failed investigation check when he's nose deep into the secret passage, standing on top of an altar. Classic, Will, classic.